The Boy Who Waited Every Sunday for 20 Years, an unforgettable story about hope and love. Before today's story begins, I want to ask you one question. Have you ever waited for someone who never came? Perhaps it was a friend, a parent, a loved one, or maybe you are still waiting today. Waiting for a phone call, waiting for an apology, waiting for life to finally change. Most people believe waiting is a waste of time. But today's story may change your mind forever. Because this is the story of a little Scottish boy who waited every single Sunday. For 20 years. Everyone believed he was foolish. Everyone told him to move on. But one quiet Sunday morning, something happened that nobody expected. A moment so beautiful that the entire village remembered it for generations. So make yourself comfortable. Take a deep breath. And let's travel to the Scottish Highlands in the year 1910. Chapter 1: A Village Among the Hills. In the northern Highlands of Scotland lay a tiny village called Glenmore. It was surrounded by green hills, purple heather, crystal-clear rivers, and ancient pine forests. Small stone cottages stood beneath grey skies. Smoke rose slowly from their chimneys every morning. Life was simple. People knew each other by name. Children played beside the river. Farmers greeted one another before sunrise. Everyone shared what little they had. Among them lived an 8-year-old boy named Ewan MacLeod. Ewan had bright blue eyes and messy brown hair. He laughed easily. He loved climbing hills. He collected smooth stones from the river. And every Sunday morning, he stood alone beside the old railway station. The station was small. Only 2 trains stopped there each week. One arrived on Sunday morning. The other left on Sunday evening. Every Sunday, Ewan arrived before sunrise. He wore the same wool coat, the same knitted scarf his grandmother had made. And he waited. Silently. Patiently. Watching every passenger who stepped off the train. People often asked, "Who are you waiting for?" Ewan always smiled. "My father." His father, James MacLeod, had left years earlier. He had gone to work overseas after promising, "I'll be back before your next birthday." But the birthday came. Then another. Then another. Letters stopped arriving. Years passed. Nobody knew what had happened. Most villagers quietly believed James had died. Everyone. Except Ewan. His grandmother never discouraged him. Instead she simply said, "As long as love remains, hope remains." Chapter 2: The Letter. One cold winter evening, while helping clean the church attic, Ewan discovered an old wooden box. Inside were forgotten letters. Dust covered every envelope. One letter caught his attention. It had his father's handwriting. But it had never been opened. The address was faded. The stamp had been damaged by rain. Apparently, it had never reached their home. With shaking hands, Ewan unfolded the fragile paper. Inside were just a few words. "My dear son, if this letter finds you, please know I have never stopped trying to return. Please don't forget me. Love always. Father." The letter was dated 12 years earlier. Tears filled Ewan's eyes. His father had not forgotten him. Something else had kept him away. From that day onward, his waiting changed. It was no longer based on imagination. It was based on hope. Chapter 3: Becoming a Man. Years passed. Ewan became a carpenter. His craftsmanship became famous throughout Scotland. People admired his honesty, his patience, his kindness. Yet every Sunday morning, he still visited the railway station. Some smiled kindly. Others whispered, "He still waits. He should move on. He is wasting his life." Ewan simply smiled. You never waste time believing in someone you love. Chapter 4: The Stranger. One rainy autumn Sunday, an elderly traveler stepped off the train. He carried only one worn leather suitcase. His coat was patched, his hair completely white. He looked around the station slowly, almost uncertain. His eyes stopped on Ewan. Then he whispered one word. "Ewan?" The carpenter froze. He looked carefully. The man's face had changed with age, but his eyes were exactly the same. "Father." For a long moment, neither moved. Then they embraced. Right there on the empty platform. The station master quietly removed his cap. Passengers stopped walking. Even strangers wiped away tears. James explained everything. The ship carrying him home had sunk during a terrible storm. He survived, but lost all identification. Unable to prove who he was. He spent years working in different countries. Each time he saved enough money to return. Another hardship came. Illness. War. Poverty. Yet he never stopped trying. And finally, 20 years later, he had come home. Chapter 5: A Second Chance. James never became wealthy. Neither did Ewan. But they shared something far more valuable. Time. Every evening they walked together through Glenmore. Fishing beside the river. Repairing old furniture. Laughing about stories from long ago. People often saw them sitting on the station bench, watching trains arrive. Not because they were waiting anymore, but because that place reminded them. That hope had brought them back together. Final reflection. Life does not always move according to our plans. Sometimes answers take years. Sometimes dreams seem impossible. Sometimes the people we love disappear from our lives. But hope, real hope, does not shout. It quietly waits. Patiently. Faithfully. Believing that tomorrow may bring what today could not. Moral of the story. Hope is never wasted. Sometimes life takes longer than we expect. But love, patience, and faith have a remarkable way of bringing people home. Some of life's greatest miracles arrive quietly, often after we've waited the longest. Thank you so much for listening. If this story touched your heart, or helped you improve your English listening skills, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a little hope today.